Welcome to 2024. I am Kevin Muller, film critic from Cinephellas, and this is 7 with Kevin, a segment I came up with where I catch up on all the films that I missed from the previous year, which is 2023 now since we're in 2024. As always, I always say I'm not a professional film critic, so I always do fall behind with my films, but I came up with this segment so I can watch everything and basically maybe find something I love or also something I hate. It's always fun. As of now, Oppenheimer is my favorite movie of 2023, but I do this because last year I did not see Decision to Leave, my favorite film of 2022, until about 35 to 40 movies into the list from 2022. Anyway, let's get on. And with our first film, every year there is a film that the critics love that I am like, okay, I guess it's okay, not really my cup of tea. And this year it is Jonathan Grazer's The Zone of Interest. It's being nominated for a lot of film awards like the BAFTAs, but I didn't connect with it. It's about a German family living outside the walls of a Holocaust concentration camp. And what Grazer does here is he has the family drama be the focus of the film while we hear sounds of gunshots, screaming, dogs barking, any horrors that are equated to that horrible experience that the Jewish people went through in those camps. It's a technique that at first is pretty cool, but it kind of overstays its welcome about 30 minutes into an hour and 45-minute movie. It's maybe because the drama and the characters are really not interesting. We have the mother and father who are living in this house. The father works in the concentration camp as a general for the Nazi side of the war. It was just boring. I just didn't connect with it. I admire Grazer for trying something new because I read the synopsis of the book that this is based on, and it seems he took a lot of the character drama out of this thing in exchange for a audible experience because those noises are popping in every so often throughout the whole movie. You do get one visual. I won't say what it is. We never do see what's going on the other side of that wall in the concentration camp. As I said, I wasn't really impressed with this one. I probably am in the minority because a lot of people love this thing, and I'm going to give this one 2.5 out of 5 hair pieces. Despite what I feel about the Zone of Interest, at least it tries to do something. Now, there's a famous novel, a children's novel, and everyone loves this novel, that became public domain. Public domain means that any artist can do anything they please with the property without copyright troubles. It could be a movie, it could be a book, it could be anything, any piece of art. Hollywood has decided to take Winnie the Pooh and make a really crappy poo horror movie. Outside of the kills, which you could probably look up on YouTube, this film is complete trash. The acting is terrible, especially the guy who plays Christopher Robin. Like, it's awful. How I feel bad for him, but he's not really giving a lot because he's not getting a lot to work with. The script is terrible, direction is terrible, the acting is terrible. You want to see scantily clad women and also some naked women and some creative kills, but every horror trope is here. The stupid characters, the C-level, D-level horror movie tropes, everything. Not a good movie, and I hear they're making a sequel because Tigger was not in this movie, but he's going to show up for the sequel. I'm not really looking forward to it. I'll check it out out of pure curiosity. I am giving this one 1.5 out of 5 poo hair pieces. Then we got Champions. On the lighter side of things, Champions stars Woody Harrelson as a former coach from a college that was fired. He stepped into a car drinking, pissed off about losing his job, and he gets caught, gets a DWI, and sentenced to coach a special needs team. Unlike 2005's The Ringer, where a lot of the actors were just actors pretending to be special needs, the entirety of this team are special needs actors, and they're pretty good. One specific character gets a nice emotional story, which is concluded at the end of the movie during the final game, and it is a very nice moment. Woody Harrelson is obviously doing great work. He can do this with his eyes closed. He's charming. He's funny. He's emotional. And additionally, Kaitlin Olson is very good too here. They are romantically linked in the movie. She is funny too. She's a wise ass, just like she is in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a show that I highly suggest you watch if you don't watch, if you haven't seen it. Most of all, Harrelson and Olsen give their special needs actor co-stars room to breathe, and they give them time to shine, and I respect that. Bobby Farrelly directed this. Him and his brother Peter, the Farrelly brothers, They have a specific directing style. It's all fun and charming, and that's here. And this is a very middle of the road film, and I liked it. It enjoyed it. 3 out of 5 hair pieces. Next, we have The Blackening. It is a horror film, horror comedy film directed by Tim Story, who directed was famously the 2005 and 2007 version of the Fantastic Four. It has such a great tagline. They can't all die first. That's the tagline, because mainly in horror films, Black people are usually the first or one of the first to go. Here we have an all Black cast doing a fantastic job working off each other and also individually. They are tasked to play a game, which kind of reminded me of Jumanji, and they're also being stalked by a killer around the cabin that they're staying at. It is satirical of the genre, it's satirical of race, it's satirical of everything. It's a fun movie. I want to shout out Jermaine Fowler, who gives a very funny performance as a character who they deem a white Black guy. I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5 hair pieces. If you are a listener to my of the podcast, you know that I love Florence Pugh. That's my girl. She is giving a fantastic performance here as Allison in A Good Person. Allison has gone through a traumatic experience, which opens up the film. She gets addicted to painkillers, and in turn, the once promising young life that she had is wiped away, and she's battling her own demons. The actress's ex-boyfriend, Zach Braff, directs this one and writes it. It's a very straightforward film. It's a very well done film. I felt connected to the story, but Pugh is just on another level here. She is giving so much here, and she elevates the movie past the melodrama that it does become at certain points. We also have Morgan Freeman here as a person connected to the trauma that Pugh is going through. I would also just like to shout out Alex Wolff from Hereditary, who is in one scene of this film and gives an extremely great performance, an effective performance. It is essential to the plot. I'm going to give my Pugh 3.5 out of 5 hair pieces. Iron Claw. This is the new film about the famous Von Erich family, who were wrestling royalty in the 80s. While the brothers were gifted athletes and even better wrestlers, they had a lot of personal troubles thanks to their overbearing father. I have talked a lot on this podcast and this site about my feelings of Zac Efron. I think he is a fantastic actor, and when he is paired with really good material, like he is here, he just blew me away here. This is him saying, I'm ready for the big time. Put me in more movies. I hope that he is nominated for something. I don't think it's going to happen. His chances are low with the Oscars, but he is great as Kevin Von Erich. He is vulnerable, he's genuine, and he tries to protect his brothers from their father, who, as I said, is a monster. He's a demon. He means well, but he just doesn't know how to communicate that well. He doesn't know how to be loving. And he is played really well by Holt McClaney. Equally great work is done by Jeremy Allen White as one of the brothers. Harris Dickinson is another brother. Lily James is Efron's girlfriend in the movie. And Stanley Simmons is another brother, all doing great performances. You can sense that writer-director Sean Durkin, who has said that he had a lot of passion and need to bring this to the big screen. You can see it is such a well-rounded movie. It is really good. It may be landing on my 10 best. We'll see, but I'm giving this one 4 out of 5 Efron hair pieces. And finally, I watched the controversial Slow Burn on Amazon. This is the second film from Emerald Fennell, the Oscar-winning director and writer of Promising Young Woman. And boy, did she cash in that check. All right, first off, the film looks amazing. You have Linus Cillian Green, who is the cinematographer, just making this thing pop visually. It is such a beautiful film to look at. I wish I saw this in the theater, not my little tiny Android phone. A lot of visual poetry, a lot of beautiful shots. It's a treat to watch. This is a soap opera. This is an over-the-top soap opera, and Fennell has basically gathered a lot of interesting actors: Rosamund Pike, Richard D. Grant, the new It guy named Jacob Elordi, and finally Barry Keoghan, who understands the assignment. His performance is very good. It matches the over-the-top zaniness of this thing. There are 2 scenes in this movie that are going to make you gag. One out of the 2 made me actually kind of like put my WTF face on. But if you're in for it, if you get past this, it is a pretty interesting movie. I did enjoy it. The ending I would have cut 15 minutes before it, but that's my own personal deal. But when you watch the ending, it matches the zaniness and the overtop nature of this film. This is a very big swing for Fennel. It is a very dividing film. I've talked to a lot of people at my job around, around that have to watch this, and I have heard that you either love it or hate it. But it is an interesting film that does basically have a lot of conversational pieces, and that's what great art is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you talk and think. It's a film that I have kind of been thinking about since I watched it. I watched it a few days ago, and I'm interested to see where Fennel goes next. She has style. She can write. Specifically, I think she should do like a period piece, like a British period piece, like kind of something like Pride and Prejudice or Bridgerton, because she captures the social dynamics of people, specifically the overpolite nature of British people, very well in this movie. And think that the controversial scenes kind of take away from it. But either way, a very interesting movie, very, very, very out there. For people who say, old movies are the same, watch this one and tell me that again when you finish it. And I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 emerald hair pieces. That concludes this 7 with Kevin. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, you can check us out on cinephellas.com. We're always reviewing the newest in TV and film. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Much love. And as we say on this site, cheers.